This is not an array. Check its type with a type of syntax. We are going to see that it is an object. So let's understand all the methods that are in this object. That will help you in your software development. You grab the last item with arr.length -1, but there is a faster, cleaner way that you are ignoring. This is the arr method. Pass an index to arr. Negative numbers also count from the starting to the end. It seems simple, but it replaces your messy array.length -1 syntax entirely. To follow along with this course, I recommend you to type and pause the video as much as possible. I'll not be typing so that I won't waste your time and the duration of the video gets shorter. The every method looks harmless, but this method runs a test function on each item. It returns true only if every item passes. Map runs a function on every item but returns a new array. Simple, but look at this example here. Each value will get transformed if we see the output on the console. We are going to see 2, 4, 6 on the console. But here is the warning. Let's say I run this code here, nums.map. I'm looking to filter out any number greater than 1 and return the square of that number. It looks fine, alright, but when you check your console output, you are going to see something that you don't like. Here's the logic. Map only transforms the array, but it doesn't filter the array. So you'll get this output. Filter keeps items that pass test. Simple, but only the values that matches the condition are going to survive. So let's look at this code. What do you think will be the output? You are looking for a number that is greater than 1 in the array. If you check your console, you are going to see 2 and 3 on that console. Nice, right? It's filtered your array, but let's look at this example. I'm going to replace this variable to be this, the same code basically, but we have square brackets across the board at the left and at the right, but the previous code did not have it. What do you think will be the output? If you said 2 and 3, you are wrong because you are going to get an empty array. This is because we did not use the return statement. So if you don't use the return statement, if you are writing your arrow functions this way, you are going to not get a good result. Find is a method in JavaScript that is going to search through an array and return the first element that satisfies the condition in your callback function. So let's look at this code. We are looking for the numbers that are greater than 10. With filter, it's going to return all the numbers that are greater than 10. But this case is just going to find the first number that is greater than 10. So check the results and you find that result on your console. Okay, findIndex is just like find, but it's just going to return the index of where the array is, basically. So if you run the same example in the previous example where we got 12, when you use findIndex, we are going to get the index of our result with find. Okay, what about findLast? findLast works exactly like find, but it's going to calculate things from the ending to the beginning. So when you run findLast on this same example, you are going to get a different result on the console. Just give it a try and see. So what about findLastIndex? findLastIndex is basically findLast, but just returns the index of where, well, your item was located. So that's basically what findLastIndex is. All these methods, findLast, findLastIndex, they were introduced in ECMAScript 2023. So if you want to know that, that's it. Okay, so what about sum? Sum is going to return true or false if one item in your array satisfies the condition that you set in your callback function. So let's look at this code. If you look at it, we run it, you are going to see that it returns true. What about forEach? So forEach is just going to loop through your array and return the results. So that's it. It's basically a for loop on steroids, and you don't have to track the index. Yeah, that's what forEach is. So let's look at this code. We are using forEach to loop through every item here, and it will return the results that we like. But there is also one mistake that most people will use forEach with, putting forEach inside a variable and logging that you're actually going to get undefined. So don't do that. So sort is just going to sort your array either in ascending or descending order. So let's look at this code. If I want to sort this in ascending order, the default sort will do it pretty much fine. But if I want to sort it in descending order, this is where I'll need to use the callback function. And when I do that, okay, it's going to sort it in descending order. Let's look at this code. I'm using the normal regular map here to modify the array to get a result I want. But it doesn't get what I want since I don't want a nested array. But to solve this problem, you need to use flat map. Now, if you're a JavaScript nerd, you'll know that you can do the same thing with the normal flat method, whereby you just attach it to the map method. Well, if your array is overly nested, which is more than one nested array in sections, that's when this method will work best. But for situations like this, the regular flat map will do a very good job. So that's flat map for you. Okay, so the reduce method is a function that runs on an array, okay, and it will process every single item in the list to create one final result. So let's look at this code. First of all, we have the numbers array, which is going to contain all the elements that we are going to perform our calculation with. And then we'll have the accumulator. So the accumulator is more or less like going to store the result of every previous calculation, okay, and then the current number is just going to be the specific elements from the array that we are going to process, okay, and then the 0 that you see below is just going to be the initial value. So this initial value is going to be assigned to the accumulator before the first calculation will even begin. So that's how reduce is going to work. So the process is going to be simple. When we run this code, there is going to be a calculation whereby 0 will be from the beginning, as we said, from our initial value, and then 1 will be our current number. And since we are adding both of them, the addition will give us 1, and then our accumulator will be what? 1, and then our current number will be 2, and to be added to be 3, and so on and so forth until we get our final result, which is 15. That's how reduce will work. What about reduce right? So reduce right will just be the complete opposite. So this time the accumulator is going to start from 0, but our current number is going to change. Instead of 1, it's going to start with 5. Okay, so when they are added together, it's going to what? Be 5, and then our next accumulator will be what? 5, and then our current number will be 4. So when it's added up, it's going to be what? 9. So that's how reduce right also works. Please like this video and subscribe. See you in the next video.